Ooh, touchdown! Coconut Crusader 7! With the NFL draft ending a few days ago, I thought I should give my personal thoughts on what the rankings this year will be for the NFL season. The Minnesota Vikings. In the draft, we got a guard, and I think we got a corner. I'm a Vikings fan and a Broncos fan, so I'm going to try to be as not biased as possible with those two teams. Now, we're not 100% sure how J.J. McCarthy will play. I would have to say that the Vikings will be an above-average team. The Vikings still have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, and a great O-line and some pretty solid defense, although they lost some key pieces in the offseason like Cameron Bynum. I don't see them making a great playoff run, but I can see J.J. McCarthy developing very well this year. Next, the Bears. They have changed a lot in the last couple of years. They've got their franchise quarterback, hopefully. They have a pretty dang good O-line. They got some nice receivers. I think the Bears will be an average team. I do think, though, in the coming years, they're going to be really good. But as for now, I think they're going to stay in that 9-win-ish range, which where I come to the Packers, where I also see them being above average. For the first time since 2002, they drafted a receiver, and a good one at that. And that Packer offense, it could be pretty good. And their defense could also be very, very good. But it just really depends on, is Jordan Love going to be the elite quarterback that he can be? Or is he going to be the Brett Favre throwing the interception instead of just running with the ball? Because we've seen both versions. We've seen him be very good, and we've also seen him be very bad. I can still see them being a very good team. It also depends on if Jair is healthy at all, and if he even steps foot onto the field. And last, we have the NFC North, the Detroit Lions, losing both coaches. They still have a lot of great players on that team, both sides of the ball. I don't know how they'll perform without those two coordinators. To be completely safe, I'm going to put them in above average, but at the very top. I could totally see them being in elite. We're not sure what that offense and defense is going to look like without the coordinator. Now we got the NFC East, I'm pretty sure. Let's start with them Cowboys. I see the Cowboys being below average. All they really did this offseason was add Javonte Williams from the Broncos and get a guard in the draft. And if I'm missing something else, apologies. There was some defensive guy to Seahawks. Put him on the screen. I'm not really sure what his name was. They won't be the worst because Dak will be healthy, but Dak's not good. Okay? Let's get that out of the way. He's not good. My mom loves him for some reason. He's not good. I seriously think of how the Cowboys did this last season is pretty close to what they'll do this season. They also fired their head coach for some random guy that was already on their roster, and their GM literally has brain farts whenever he's making decisions. The Giants, they got Jackson Dart.
Stand up. Let me see your snap count. Let me be honest with me, because I see at USC, I see this guy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You ready?
Yeah. No, I want to hear the snap count.
Yeah.
Really?
Which is a good first step to fixing that quarterback culture. I don't know who their backup is. Tyrone Tracy is the running back. Malik Neighbors is a receiver. And they also got Abdul Carter in the draft, an edge rusher. It all depends on if their young guys perform. And if they do, this could be a really, really solid team in the future. I'm still going to put them in below average, but I can see them being very good in the future if they keep adding great players like they did. Next, we got the Washington Commanders. So sophomore slump can be a thing, which if you don't know what that is, it means quarterbacks after the rookie year sometimes don't perform as well as they did in their first year because the teams have tape on them now. Regardless of that, I still think it's a solid team. Deebo Samuel could either be pretty good or dookie like he was in the 49ers in this last stretch. I can see the Commanders still being elite, and that Jaden Daniels might not have as much as a slump as we all think he could. Now we got the defending champs, Philadelphia Eagles. Not really much to say. They got another good defensive guy from the draft, and they're already good everywhere else. Elite, no questions asked. If they're under 12 wins, it's a bad season for them. Now, I think this is the NFC West. We got the Cardinals. Marvin Harrison Jr. did not have a good season at all. Kyler Murray, I don't remember much of what he did last year. I don't know if he did that good. The Cardinals did pick up Will Johnson, though, but that knee injury is the reason he dropped all the way to the second round. Could potentially make him not as good as he could be, at least for this first year, depending on the reps there. But I think they'll be an average team. I feel like Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to finally figure it out. Kyler Murray is going to finally realize, hey, maybe I should throw to that guy. Trey McBride, he's going to be solid too. James Conner, I think that's the running back's name. He'll be really good. I'm not 100% sure about how their defense plays. So we'll just have to see if Kyler Murray makes the right plays and their defense goes well. The San Francisco 49ers going from in the Super Bowl to completely spelunking out of the playoffs. I don't see them doing great this year. They're going to have to pay Brock Purdy a bag if they didn't already very soon. They lost Dre Greenlaw. I think Hargrave was on that team. Talanoa Hufanga. I hope I didn't butcher that last name. They lost a lot of pieces. But CMC might be back. Or he is going to be back. So that could totally switch what this team does. They lost Jordan Mason as a backup, but I think they'll be okay. I think they're going to be average. I don't see them doing great, but CMC is probably going to help. George Kittle got paid a bag recently, so that's nice. Their defense probably will be okay. Offense probably okay. So overall, George Kittle and CMC drag them to something. Now we got the Seattle Seahawks adding Sam Darnold, kicking out Geno Smith, getting Cooper Kupp, and shipping off just a bunch of stuff going on over there. I'm going to give you a scenario here. They're going to be above average. Okay, now hear me out. They're going to make it to the playoffs, but because Sam Darnold's their quarterback, he's going to sell. They also lost DK Metcalf. Like, I understand, like, you got Cooper Kupp and you got Jackson Smith and Jigba, but Sam Darnold will have some good receivers, which will help him throw the ball better. But in the end, he's just going to fart in the first round if they even make it there. Now we got the Los Angeles Rams. Getting rid of Cooper Kupp. They still got Kyron Williams. And they didn't even have a first round pick. I think they traded it away to the Falcons, maybe? I don't remember. I don't see them doing very good. I'm going to see that they're average. Yeah, they have Puka Nacua, but I don't know, man. When you lose Cooper Kupp as an option, I feel like that's just not good. Now, maybe I'm totally overrating Cooper Kupp, but from what I've heard and what I know, he's very good to have on that field. Hey, Editor Garrett here. Quick side note about the Rams, as you just saw. I completely forgot that they added Davante Adams to that receiver room. I completely forgot about that. I will still stand to what I said about them being average, but I will put them, in my mind, higher up on the average scale. So there's that. Now, finally, ending the NFC, we got the NFC South. The Falcons, Penix looked horrible. The only receiver I know on that team is Drake London. Bijan's probably the only redeemable factor on this team. And Kyle Pitts is dog poop. So I'm putting them in below average. They're not going to be good. And even though that division is really bad, they're still... Bucks are going to the playoffs again. Now we got the Panthers. So the Panthers got Teteroyo McMillan. wide receiver, and he could be pretty dang good. But Bryce Young is going to be the question that we need to figure out here. Is he going to be good, or is he going to be bad? Because they got Adam Thielen, Tedroy McMillan, Xavier Legette. They still got a couple more years, but I am still going to put them in below average. But they're not going to be disgusting, in my opinion. The Saints. So they took Tyler Shook. Instead of Shadur, which I somewhat disagree with. We'll never know until we see them actually play. But from college looks, Tyler's not that good. Well, I think that was their second round pick. And then they also took an offensive tackle. They need that O-line to be good. Derek Carr might not even play. We don't know. And they still have Spencer Rattler, but he's also booty. Receivers in that room. Chris Olave, I think, is in there. But isn't he like always injured? This is going to be our first 2026 draft waiting line. I don't see them doing literally anything good this year. Finally, in the NFC South, to wrap up the NFC, we have the Bucs. Also got a wide receiver in Emeka Egbuka. I hope I said that right. So they have Chris Godwin. I think they still have Chris Godwin. They got Bucky Irving. They got Mike Evans. They got Emeka. They got Baker Mayfield. They got a pretty good O-line. And they got a pretty good defense, kind of. I think, now I could be totally wrong. I think they need corners. If I'm correct, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they needed corners and they didn't do that. Someone's got to make the playoffs. It's probably going to be them. They're average, but very bottom of average. So like 8 or 9 wins. I don't see them winning more than 9 games. Now we start the AFC with the AFC North. The Baltimore Ravens are going to be elite. They're going to be very good. Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers. Hopefully Mark Andrews actually catches the ball. Their defense is pretty solid. They got a really good safety, I'm pretty sure. And they drafted one too. They got solid corners. Now, I don't see them being bad at all. The Browns. They got 5 QBs in that QB room. They got Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, who they drafted, and Shadur Sanders, who they also drafted and who also dropped to the 5th round. I guess I should say 4 quarterbacks because they officially said they will be releasing Deshaun at some point. But we don't even know who the starter's going to be. It's got to be a training camp battle. Like, that's literally what it has to be because any of those guys could start. Not saying they'd be good, but any of them could start. Now, this is all dependent on the quarterback because they got Jerry Jeudy. They've got Myles Garrett, even though he said he was going to leave. And no matter how much money they got him, he still joined with the money they got him. They got okay defense. They got a really good defensive lineman. But here's the big thing. They traded down with the Jaguars and didn't get Travis Hunter. But okay, whatever. They did get Quinshawn Judkins in the draft, though, for a running back, so that'd be good. They got Njoku. But they're also... It really depends on who the quarterback is and how good they are. But to be completely safe, they're in the waiting line for the draft. The Bengals. They needed a defense last year. They would have been great if they could actually play defense. They got an edge too in the 1st round, and I think that's very good. They need that defense, but they need some corners too, I'm pretty sure. They still got Joe Burrow. They still got Jamar Chase. They still got T. Higgins. They still got Chase Brown. Is that their running back? I'm not sure. And in the 2nd round, they also got a linebacker. I don't know how good he's going to be. If their defense plays good, they can be an above average team. I 100% think this last year was a complete fluke. It was really stupid. I don't see them sucking again. The Steelers. I don't even have to say a word about them. You already know where they're going to go. They're always average, but they're always in the middle, and they always sort of win, but also just choke in the end. So my prediction, 9-8, 10-7, something like that. Make the playoffs, lose in the 1st round, gone. The Buffalo Bills as we enter the AFC East, I'm pretty sure. So we got the Buffalo Bills, elite team. They have Josh Allen, obviously. James Cook, obviously. Their tight end department is okay. Their wide receiver department is okay as well. Keon Coleman is going to be pretty good, though. As we clearly saw, with not having a crazy good receiver room, they still went really far with their offense, especially with Josh Allen being able to run the ball and do whatever he wants. Their defense is pretty good. They added Joey Bosa on a 1-year, prove-it year. So we'll have to see how that goes. Potentially Super Bowl team. Next, we got the Jets. Adding Justin Fields as their quarterback in the offseason. Shipping off Aaron Rodgers. And what else did they do? They have Garrett Wilson as a receiver. They got a new offensive lineman. Breece Hall could have a breakout year. And unless if I'm missing someone, that's about it. Other than Sauce Gardner, of course, on the defense. They're going to be a below average team. Justin Fields has got to prove himself right here. Otherwise, he's shipped off as a bust. The Dolphins, draft waiting line. You can't look at me straight in the face and say the Dolphins are making the playoffs, and you can't tell me that they're not going to be a top 10 pick next year. You just can't tell me that with a straight face. Tyreek Hill, sure, he's all right. Tua, he's going to get a concussion again. They lost Raheem Mostert. Waddle, sure. I don't see how they succeed at all this season, and I will happily eat my words if I'm wrong about this, but they're a bad team, guys. I'm sorry. The Patriots, they got Drake May. They got a really good lineman, that Will Campbell, that will literally die for Drake May. Flight loves him.
May, what kind of tone are you going to set on this offensive line?
I'm gonna fight and die to protect them with everything I got.
Yeah, I like that attitude. I like that attitude.
Sorry, Flight, but draft waiting line. The Patriots, they don't really have anything going for them. They really don't. They got Stephon Diggs off a torn ACL. They got Drake May, but he could be bad. O-line is okay. Defense is all right. Christian Gonzalez, good job. Other than Stephon Diggs, who's their receivers? KJ Osborne? Mac Hollins, I guess? You guys don't have anybody that good. Now we got the AFC South. Starting with the Texans, CJ Stroud had a horrible year, but his O-line also was. But I'm going to be honest. They didn't have a first-round draft pick. The second round, they picked a receiver. Cool. I don't think they're going to do good this year. They don't have Stephon Diggs anymore, and he was solid for them that year. From what I understand, barely made changes to their O-line except for getting rid of players. Tank Dell's probably gone for this season, and your running back room is below average. They're going to have a really bad year this year. I got that gut feeling. AFC South continues with the Colts. Get in that draft waiting line, buddy. The Colts suck. Their quarterback room is Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. But the best part is they're fighting for a starting spot. Receivers, bunch of nobodies. Jonathan Taylor is a running back. They lost 2 huge players on their O-line. Like, are you guys just trying to blow it up and start over? Because I hope you are. Next, we got the Titans. They picked Cam Ward, which means probably Will Levis won't be playing this year. They also picked an edge rusher in the second round. They've got L'Jarius Sneed on defense. Their wide receiver room, though, is a bunch of They got Tony Pollard as running back, and he's pretty all right. He has his games. In a couple of years, if Cam Ward turns out to be really good, they will be in this 2 top tiers in the next 4 years, probably. But for now, we're going to put them in below average. They won't be in the draft waiting line like they were last year, but I think they're going to make a slow climb of improvement here. And finally, we got the Jaguars, who fleeced the Browns in getting Travis Hunter. Apparently, from what Travis Hunter said, he knew they were going to trade to get him, which I don't know how you would know that. Huge steal, though, regardless. But other than that, Trevor Lawrence is not their future, and they need to realize that very soon. Tank Bigsby is pretty good. Trevor Etienne or Travis Etienne. I don't remember which one it is that is in the NFL currently and not just got drafted. He's not that good. Brian Thomas Jr. also as their wide receiver last year. Super solid guy. So it also depends on what the Jaguars are thinking about putting Travis Hunter. Is he going to be a wide receiver or is he going to be a corner? Or are they going to really actually put him in both and kill his stamina and riddle him with injuries? We'll have to find out. But because of the horrible quarterback play they have, they're still going to be in the draft waiting line. And finally, the last division, the AFC West. My Broncos are going to be elite. I'm joking, obviously. I don't actually think that. They had a great season last year. Bo Nix turned up. Cortland Sutton is solid. He's getting old, though. Marvin Mims is coming into place. We lost Javonte, which is okay because he's not as good as we wish that he would have been. RJ Harvey from UCF. Very, very potential to be a monster. We got Pat Surtain, the best corner in the league. And the up-and-coming best corner in the league with Jahdae Barron, I think his name is. He's our defense is going to be phenomenal. We got Talanoa Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw. You guys aren't stopping us. I'm sorry. We're going to be the best defense in the league. At least top 3 defense in the league. Offense is the only thing I'm worried about, but I think we'll be pretty good. So I will put us in above average. I'm saying us and we about the Broncos more than the Vikings because I've liked the Broncos longer. Next, we got the Chiefs. You're stupid if you don't put them in elite. They had a really weird year last year, and they're just going to be good again. As much as we hate to see it, they're going to be good for a while. Next, we got the Chargers. Very surprising season last year. Ladd McConkey is going to be great, and he is great. Justin Herbert needs to prove it this year, or else he might be getting out of here. Like, it's coming to a point where he's sucking more than he's being good. They also picked up Omarion Hampton. I think he's a pretty good running back. I haven't seen much of him. They also picked up Trey Harris, a wide receiver, to add to the wide receiver room because they need that. Also, Joe Alt is going to continue to be great. The defense is going to continue to be good. I think they were a really good run defense last year. I'm pretty sure, or maybe I'm thinking wrong. I'm not sure. Regardless to say, I think they will be average. I don't think they're going to do as much as they did last year. Maybe just a little bit less. The Raiders with the best running back in the draft. They got Ashton Jeanty. We need to see if this translates to the NFL, though, and with the Raiders O-line. Quarterback over there. I actually don't know who it is over there. That's right. Geno Smith is going to be the quarterback. Yikes. I'm going to put you guys in below average. And there you have it, everybody. That is my predictions for how well skill-wise that every team will do. I will come back to this at the end of the season, see how wrong I was or how right I was. And when the playoffs do roll around, I will be doing predictions for that too. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.